Hey everybody, this is Olivia Edwards.
And Grace Hager,
here with the Big Screen Review. Today we're going to be talking about everything we think is wrong with Twilight. Such a good movie. Where do we start?
Probably with the acting.
Okay, fair start.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Plain and simple. It was not good.
What do you think were, some of the worst moments with the acting?
Oh, no. The truck, mouth breathing.
My favorite part is when Bella gets this truck from her father.
Yes.
She's like, oh, no way, you bought me a truck. And she gets me this truck.
And it's this really, old, it's not something that's oh my god, yes.
Bro, it's the worst truck ever.
Yeah, it's really ugly.
It looks like it's from the frickin' 70s or something.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my god. And then here's Jacob, I rebuilt the engine myself.
No one cares. That's not the only moment there's awful acting. This entire movie is filled with awful acting.
I know. I think we all know that, too. All of us who have seen this movie, it's just well, we all know that this movie is not the movie for good acting.
There's just something about Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Sorry, but neither one of them are good, and together they're awful. Awful. Really awful. Kristen Stewart mouth breathes the entire movie.
Yes, they all do.
I'm just girl, close your mouth and
use
breathe.
your nose.
All right, moving on from the acting, we gotta talk about the fashion.
Oh no.
This movie was filmed in 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
2008, and let's just say there's some interesting fashion choices that we all made ourselves.
Early 2000s.
Yes.
Early 2000 fashion choices that just shouldn't have happened in general.
My favorite is the blue eyeshadow that Kristen Stewart wears every day.
Yes. What is with early 2000s and blue eyeshadow? I don't know.
Can we also talk about the fact that people wore short sleeve shirts on top of long sleeve shirts and pretended that they were cool?
Well, now it is technically cool for e-boys.
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 Twilight predicted e-boys.
Twilight predicted e-boys. You are not wrong.
All right. Moving on from fashion, I think a big part of the movie that I disliked was the lighting.
Yeah, it really did not do anything for anyone. It made them look like gingers. It made them look blue.
I mean, I get that they had to use the lighting to make the Cullen family look incredibly pale because they're vampires, so they're supposed to be pale.
But they're not gingers.
They couldn't, they messed up with the lighting because they couldn't make just the Cullens look pale.
Mm-hmm. It made them all.
It made everyone look pale.
I get it, you're in, you're near, Seattle and stuff like that.
They done messed up with the lighting. Also, they had, no lighting in the school, and I was like, how do you even see your assignment? I
know, all the lights were, super dim and, or just not on in general.
Okay, while we're at it, special effects. I just like to say WTF with the special effects.
Yes, it was just so messed up.
We had the Cullens ninja crawling on walls and ceilings and
spider monkeying and
minus the baseball scene.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'd take that one. Where they're
that
running
one was
around
fine.
And
the lightning, the thunder.
Yeah, I could take that.
Yeah, that was not the worst part of the movie.
No. I think 11-year-old me rewatched that part of the movie 12 times.
Well, 11-year-old me has seen that entire movie about 11 or 12 times.
Overall, the movie's unnecessarily long and just hard to follow, especially at the end.
Yeah, it's so long. It's really over 2 hours, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
And it most of the movie, it could have been done so much earlier than it is. Mm-hmm. They did not need to add that prom scene in.
At the end.
It's not okay.
They dragged it on way too long.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even tell what was happening at the end. Because they were going all the way from the Seattle area, Forks is where they live, down to Phoenix, Arizona, and
it was
they didn't
just
do
so
a good
weird.
job of explaining
what was going on
or what was happening.
It was just oh my god, they're after us, we have to go.
A vampire's chasing us, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
It was really confusing. But moving on from the overall acting, fashion, lighting, special effects, we just have some. They're not big plot complaints, but it's a long list that we compiled of things that could have been improved.
First of all, there's no plot.
Okay, facts.
Like, it's just a bunch of people running around.
Vampires.
Yeah, vampires running around and being like, oh my god, what's going on? Which, I wish there was a plot, because they probably could have made that movie good.
Maybe. It should have stayed a book, but, like, maybe. They had a better chance.
If they just figured out a plot.
All right. Can we talk about how when Bella goes to a new school, which is the whole premise of the start of the movie, she goes...
she moves from Arizona to Forks.
Yep. And then that's where she meets the Colons.
Yeah.
But when she gets to her new school, she finds friends, like, instantly.
Yeah, and she, like... So she's walking around meeting all these random people, and it turns out they're all friends. Like, I'm sorry, but what?
Literally every single person she talks to that day are best friends. Yeah. And they have lunch together.
And they're all, like, the most random people of, like, the school.
Yes.
I was like, what?
And then Bella's biology class, which is where she actually meets Edward.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, in a formal introduction thingy.
Formal. Well, he, like, rolls his eyes at her and, like, doesn't talk to her. But, I find it still weird, which... I don't really know how to explain it, but we take biology as freshmen.
Yeah, because it's like an easy science class.
But why does Edward have such a problem with Bella in biology?
I don't know.
Like, he should be used to dealing with, like, people. The thirst for blood for other people. Like, why is Bella especially really, like, why does he want her so bad?
I know, it's so weird. Like, he literally has to probably sit next to people in every other class.
Yeah. He has no problems in other classes.
Exactly, but in this one class, when Bella sits next to him, he flips out.
Yep, and asks to drop the class.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't.
I can't with this entire movie.
No, this movie, it's so bad.
And then her and her father go to a diner. And, again, we're just stacking up minor plot complaints that just suck. Make the movie suck overall.
In, like, no particular order.
Just makes it unbelievable that the waitress remembers her order from, like, 10 years prior.
Yeah. Like, she probably didn't live there for, like, when she probably only lived there when she was, like, really little. Mm-hmm. And then moved with her mom.
They said she hadn't had a Christmas in Forks since she was 4. Mm-hmm. So.
Real little.
Also, it's a town of 3,000, not 5.
Exactly.
How do you remember people's orders like that?
Especially from almost, like, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Probably even longer. What is she, 16?
Probably 17.
Yeah,
Edward's
16,
17,
17.
so she's probably 17.
Yeah.
And then where Bella first, like, kind of gets the idea that Edward is a vampire, is because she's in the parking lot and someone's van slides on ice and nearly hits her, and Edward, like, gets in the way and smashes the van and saves her.
The whole thing.
But after she's, like, I'm using this with air quotes, but after she's, quote, hit by the van, she goes to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Nobody has any injuries whatsoever.
No, like, they're all fine. Like, the one guy has, like, a little cut on his forehead, but it's, like, not even that deep. Like, there's no reason for them to need to go to the hospital.
Also, I want to say that he was going 10 miles per hour max on the parking lot.
And no one speeds at, like, 75 in the parking lot unless you're crazy.
How did she go to the hospital after being hit at
not even
probably
hit.
5 miles? Yeah, she wasn't even hurt. Edward, like, with his arms.
Like, she was perfectly fine.
At, like, 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I hit someone going 40. My bad. And no one had to go to the hospital.
Exactly. I got hit from a person going, like, 2 miles an hour, and I'm perfectly fine.
Oh, I love that.
Gosh. We love car accidents.
Unbelievable.
I know. Like, it's just so
There's
dumb.
so many things that, like, they just, little things that they messed up on that really makes it suck.
Yep. It really should have stayed a book.
It really should have.
Even though I haven't read the books, it just should have.
I read all the books. The entire movie, Edward Cullen pretends he's the bad guy. He's like, oh, I'm a vampire.
Radioactive spiders. And...
my family eats people, like, but he doesn't eat people.
No. Oh my god, I'm the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. Duh. You gotta cut that out.
Okay.
And then how does, later on, Jacob, which is Bella's friend, old friend.
Yeah.
He tells her about, like, the feud between the Blacks and the Cullens and how basically the Cullens are vampires and the Blacks are wolves, but Bella somehow does not pick up on that.
I know. Like, it's crystal clear that he's mentioning that we're wolves and they're vampires, but no.
She's just being dumb.
Yep, she should have been made a blonde.
Yes.
And I can say that because I am a blonde.
And let's not forget the fact that Let's not forget the fact that Edward follows Bella to another city when she's with her friends.
That is so creepy.
Saves her when she's, like, about to get kidnapped. And then she doesn't find it creepy at all.
I know, like, if some random guy's following me into a different city, I'm gonna be, freaked out.
If some random guy takes the same 3 turns as me, I get freaked out.
Yeah, me too.
So, like, someone followed her to another city, and she's just like, okay, cool, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, whoa.
Can I get in your car?
Crazy.
And then she has dinner with him.
I know. And then he's, like, finally, like, kind of telling her, like, I can read minds.
It takes her way too long to figure out that he's a vampire.
I know, like, oh my god, like, this human can read minds?
Oh.
What?
And then she meets him in the woods after she finds out he's a vampire.
Like, the most secluded part of the woods. Are you a vampire?
He's like, look at my shiny skin.
Oh my god, it glitters like diamonds.
And to conclude, I would just like to point out the best part of the movie is when Edward frickin' Cullen spider monkeys up a tree.
We love when Edward's a spider monkey.
Man. I mean, what else could you want more in a boy?
Nothing. If he could spider monkey up a tree, he is the man for me.
He is the one.
I'll marry him on the spot.
Overall, Twilight, not a good movie.
No.
Not worth your time.
No. But will I still continue to watch it? Yes.
To laugh. Just for good laughs.
And then me having to mute, like, half the movie because I can't.
Too cringy. As an 11-year-old, I loved it. Mm-hmm. Looking back on it now,
I hate it.
Nope. There's a lot of things they could have done better.
Oh, yeah. Just a little bit.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This has been Olivia Edwards.
And Grace Hager.
Here at the Big Screen Review.
Did it?